So I need God to protect me. I need him to deliver me from the evil one. This is the sixth of the clear, simple expectations Christ has for all of us. It's part of God saying, I have a very simple plan for you. I want you to seek first me ruling over your life, you living out my righteousness, you living out my becoming my hands and my feet and my voice and my love in this world. I want you to be that. And Satan says, I'm going to distract you from that. I'm going to derail you from that. Well, that's the early church. They went through two of the worst generations, and actually it was a run-up for the next generation of persecution that was unparalleled. By the time Diocletian got to the throne in the 300s AD, he, as an engineer, by the way, Diocletian, remember, his palace is still there. They film movies there. He's the only Roman emperor that retired. How do you like that? All the rest of them either died of dissipation or were murdered or killed on the battlefield or something, but not Diocletian. He got the whole empire running the way he wanted it and was working on exterminating Christendom. That was his last goal, and he retired. But he did accomplish three things. He got rid of every complete copy of the Bible. There is not a single complete copy of the Bible from before his time. We have 25,000 pieces because they cut them up and divided the manuscripts because his legionnaires were coming and destroying, searching out and destroying every copy of the Bible. See, Diocletian said, I can destroy the church if I can get rid of their Bibles, if I can get rid of their pastors, and if I can get rid of their meeting places. Because they need the scriptures, they need to be shepherded, and they need the fellowship of being together. And so he systematically destroyed every church, he systematically imprisoned or executed every pastor, and he completely wiped out every total copy of the scriptures. So we just have fragments, pieces, partial scrolls, and they piece them together. We have the whole Bible in 25,000 pieces. And so during that run-up to that, the church was living for God. Why? Because Jesus laid it out. Right at the center of his longest sermon, Matthew 5, 6, and 7, the Sermon on the Mount we call it. Right in the middle, he says, stop. This is something I want you to do every day. This is a pattern I want you to have. I want you to have this pattern. This pattern is, I want you to, before everything else, begin by focusing on who I am and where I am. I am God. I am the creator. I am the sustainer. And I am enthroned in heaven, and it's absolutely peaceful around me. And I have these bowls in front of me. Remember that? Revelation 5 and 8 described them. And he said, I collect all of your prayers right there. They're right in front of the throne of God. You want to get close to God? Pray without ceasing. He collects prayers. We collect all kinds of stuff. I met someone here this week that collects cars. They have a 47 Olds or something. We collect all kinds of stuff. Do you know what God collects? Prayers. Right there. They're right in front of him all the time. He said, focus on that. And I say, I need you, God, to focus me on that because I want to know more and more and more about you. I want to know you. In fact, salvation, this is life eternal. John 17:3, that they may know thee, the true God. See, salvation is knowing God. God says the first thing I want you to do is focus on knowing me. Secondly, once you see who I am, focus on inviting me to control you. Inviting me to take over your life. I can run it so much better than you. I was at lunch this week, and our dear host, he asked me something about my IRA. I said, I don't know anything about my IRA. But I said, every time I see one of my kids, they always say, Dad, let me see your phone. And they look at my phone, and they go to Fidelity, and they go, oh, you choose all the wrong stuff. And they go, and they fix it. Because they think financially. They understand, and they just are humming in that. And so when you want something done, like on your car or your computer or your house, you get an expert. God said, I'm the expert at controlling your life. My whole purpose is to show you the path of life. If you will follow my path, you will have unbelievable fullness of joy. In my presence, if you stick close to me, you'll have endless pleasures. I mean, people in our world will blow themselves up in order to go to some mythical place with 70 virgins. I'm talking about the whole militant Islamic, suicide bomber mentality that drives them to destroy themselves to get this mythical, endless. You know what God said? If you just allow me to control you, you will have endless pleasures. But we look at control as, I'm kind of afraid. What's he going to do to me? God says, I know what's best.